We now move on to the authority car parking charges. John, are you going to present your side?
Just maybe to give an introduction, Chairman, if I may. John will come back on some obviously key points that have been raised. Just brief introduction, members, to the paper. As everybody here knows, the park is known and respected for its high quality open spaces, award-winning open spaces in fact, and of course those high standards need to be funded. And we need a sustainable funding model taking the park forward so we can all enjoy it as we have done these years to date. And it is a common challenge faced by all park owners and operators in terms of how you square that funding model. Car parking charging is now a common feature to generate income, either fund or part fund parks management and maintenance. And of course, the charges were originally introduced here a couple of years ago. And officers did research other parks, other authorities, to look at their charges, and examples are set out in the paper. And the intention was to set at a reasonable level, certainly compared to what others are charging. And actually, in broad terms, what we're looking at is that charges will generate 10%, make a 10% contribution to the overall cost of our parks management and maintenance. That's what we're looking at as a contribution to that cost, which is a significant cost, as I say, to make sure we maintain the standards that we have today. There's always a review planned. We're always looking to review car parking charges later this year, so that was always in the pipeline. Clearly, in response to the concerns that have been expressed, in effect we brought that forward and looked very carefully. John, his team and others looked very, very carefully at the charges, and what's set out in the paper in terms of options certainly highlights and reflects some of those concerns. So today, so members do have those options to consider if they wish to revise what's in place.
I'd just like to remind everybody it is a linchpin of our levy strategy, the income that's generated from the car park charging. That was agreed in 2016 January and again ratified and extended in January 2017. Do you want me to cover some of the questions that people have proposed? So if I run down the list that everybody's read through. The gates are currently being locked and it's still the same standard as it always has been. There is an option due to the fact that if we reduce the car park locking, there is a saving on the GM budget. So that's potentially where the saving and where the rumours have got out, where the car park locking, but I can guarantee they're still being locked at the same time. And they will move forward at the moment until that changes, but of course everything's up for review. Parking eye to us is the reputational damage that potentially you've talked about is not what we've experienced in our other leisure trust. They've got a very good reputation in our leisure trust and they were the one that advocated with us. So
got a terrible reputation.
But in our organisation, currently they've got a very good reputation and they're very good to deal with. So that's why we've got a package.
Sorry. We all listen very carefully and gave you extra time to make sure you all had your chance to put your point of view. We all gave you extra time. Now it's John. Now it's John.
He's raising
now it's John's turn to talk. Sorry, you did have your chance. Gave you extra time. You went well over your 3 minutes. It's now John's turn to talk. John.
So, moving on from parking eye, look at expenditure. We have looked at expenditure and we've looked at different models where we can raise income as well. Car park charging, as Sean has alluded to, is one option that many authorities go down, and this authority has chosen now to go down that route as well. The other charges are covered in the paper, and that's up to members' decision, so I don't need to cover all the blue badge holders and stuff like that. And the visitor numbers potentially may go down, potentially. But for us, we need this car park charging to be a successful scheme. So that's the least thing that we want to happen.
Again, can I please ask the members in the public gallery, we did give you a chance to have your say. We now have to have John having his say, and then we'll make our discussion and make a decision. John.
And I think that comes to the end of the majority of the questions that I've got.
Okay, so
hang on, that's not. I asked some questions.
I now open it up to members of the authority.